Hi wildlings. This is a long promised video of how I recover and feel good and work after a hike. I am all out of words because, to be super authentic, I'm doing this right after a nice long hike in the Chiricahua Mountains today. So let's just get right to it. I'm just going to go from the bottom up. And so the first place I'm going to start is rolling out my feet. And a really big part of my own hike recovery process, or anybody going from a long run, is to thank my body. I'm just so proud of it. If you wanted to do this and add more load, you could stand up on it. But right now, after I've been on my feet all day, the last thing I want to do is get up on them. So it just feels nice to just give them a little bit of space. Good strong feet, and I'm just gonna let my legs know I'm proud of them. And just switch sides. I feel like so much of this process is just offering care and nourishment for my body and letting it know somatically that I'm doing it. So there's not really anything magical about this. I'm just getting it under my feet in every direction in ways that feel good. And so I'm going to now take my feet. I'm going to take one side and the other, and I'm just going to wiggle back and forth. It feels so good. Mobilize my ankle. And each little toe, I'm going to give them a little pull. And same thing on this side. So grabbing on each side. Back and forth. And then a little massage, and then just pull each toe. And then I'm going to give my calves a little bit of love. This is one that you'll usually see people, or sometimes I'll teach it, sitting back like this. And if that's not too intense, that's one way to do it. But I can also do it up against the wall like this, where I'm rolling myself in. And I'm just going to put that at sort of that widest part of my calf. Yeah. Oh. It's really nice to lay down and just go a little side to side. Point and flex my foot. And basically what I'm trying to do here is, I've been rolling all over rocks and things all day, and I'm trying to give my legs and feet the same care of just moving in all directions. And so here, as I'm up against the wall, I'm now also just getting a nice little hip rotation in here to just massage this foot out, this calf out. Use this foot to maneuver the ball a little higher up, and same thing. And so this is so much about just giving care and direction. It's not so much as going into like any intense sensation, since that's been happening all day, and I assume I will have some intense sensation tomorrow. All right, I'm going to try the other side. Roll this down. And this is not something I'm ever too precious about, because I just hiked all day. I don't need to be too exact. Just offer some care and love. And again, that nice little hip hike and lower. Give a little more space there. And now one area that some of you might be able to get to against the wall, just as let's see if I can do this tonight. But you could also sit back on it, is to just get it right there at your Achilles. And this is why I like the 2-ball system. You can use yoga tune-up balls or like tennis ball stuffed in a sock. Is that now they get to frame my Achilles, and I get to be gentle against that tendon. And this is just really nice. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't feel intense. It just feels nice. Good leg. You did well today. Trying to move my ankle in all of its directions, and you can see I'm trying to also point and flex my toes in every direction. And then the other side. So nuzzling that up in there. Yeah, so it's almost like it's a little cradle for my Achilles here. Ooh, one side's different. Good job, leg. Once I've had about enough of that, as long as I'm here, I'm going to do that for my back because that feels really nice. So it's not, hi buddy, the biggest abdominal movement that I've ever made. I'm just rocking the shape of my back towards my head. You could also do this with a pillow underneath of you. And the idea here is just to give my low back a little bit of gentleness, a little bit of space, a little bit of care. And so now you can see it's just going to give that natural tilt in a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then while I'm here, I've got 2 TheraBands. And usually I cue this with double or like the band around the ball of your foot. I've got loops in the end of each of these, just because I don't feel like having the heaviest load in the world right now. The idea behind this is just to centrate my femur heads back in the hip socket. So I've got the loops around each foot, and I'm going to bring my elbows to the floor, decent amount of tension, hip circles. And you can see that I've kept the pillow under my back. Just everything right now is just about maximum relaxation, softness, kindness to this extraordinary body that carried me across the land today. Nearly the muffin cap. I switched directions in there somewhere. And for me, now I just start to intuitively explore. Where do my legs want to go? Moving my feet. What's nice here is that I also now don't have to overstretch my hamstrings. I'm just giving them some really nice, gentle mobility, nothing shocking my system. And now I'm giving myself quite a bit of pull down. And this is actually to give some compression. You can bend your knees if you do this. This is to give some compression straight down into my pelvis. It's been compressed the other way quite a bit, and so this just sort of undoes that a little bit. I'm out of words. It feels great. Give it a try. See if you like it. I don't really feel the need to do a whole lot of like lateral stretching or mobilization here, just because for me this hike was a lot of forward and back rather than lateral, so I'm just going to let that be. But one thing that's one of my all-time favorite things to do is, especially if I'm on a Pilates reformer, but so I'm mimicking it, is to hold the straps quite a bit of tension so that my legs are just doing nothing in this position, including letting them just flap out to the side so that I'm not tugging at my ligaments. They're just really well supported, giving them a little bit of care, support, and even a little bit of some more compression in a different way. And I'm just going to take some easy belly breaths in and out. And then from here, I'm going to let that go. Roll over. Give Neely a little snuggle. It's a very important part of the recovery process. And then just to give a little bit of care and attention to my back and shoulders. Intuitively, it felt right for me tonight to get out a TheraBand, putting it around the side of my head, and I'm going to give a little gentle pull here, and the action of my head is like maybe 10% moving that way towards you'll look left to you, my right, and just some really nice luscious shoulder circles. And change the position of my chin. This situation is very sweet and light. And then down here. Ooh, yeah. This is probably going to look different for everybody. Again, just a very intuitive process of what needs a little care tonight. And then sort of tangled up in TheraBands here. I'm just going to move this hip through. And then take this into an easy twist. And the other side. Oh, so good. Sweet muffin. Oh, I should do my head on this side. Ooh, this side's different. Oh. Back to those hip circles, and really this is for my lower back, putting it in a short position and a long position. Just since it's been static and stabilizing all day, I want to give it some really tender, caring mobility. And then that twist. For me, intuitively right now, it feels good for me to do some roll-ups because for me, these aren't so much an abdominal exercise. That's what's supporting me as a spinal mobilizer. So for me, these feel really good. If they don't for you, don't do them. But you could just do sort of like the up and down, easy movements. I like moving through them just inch by inch by inch. And the reverse. This is when Neely and I give each other slow blink eyes. And just how you tell a cat you love them, or that you're going to give them their carrot. Rolling down on one side and up and over to the other. Just massaging that whole posterior chain that just did so much wonderful work. It's almost like writing a love letter to your body. It intuitively feels good for me to add a little twisting in here. And then so I don't fall completely asleep before dinner. Mostly useful. Jeff is making some delicious Thai curry from scratch. Pretty excited about it. Just gonna come and mobilize my ankles in a slightly different way. So extending them back. And now I'm actually using the weight of my body to add to that stretch. So, when you've been walking around for 10 miles with 20 pounds on your back, 25 pounds, that is one of the occasions that calls for some really nice passive stretching. So you can see I'm pushing myself into the stretch, but I'm not staying so long. I'm going to come onto the top of my foot. Oh, yeah. That's the spot. And then I'm going to switch. I hope you could see that. Same thing here, where I'm going to roll through. The point here isn't to do it right. The point here is to move your ankle in ways that feel like freedom. Ooh, foot cramp. It's okay, foot. You did well. And I'm just gonna give myself a little child's pose. Feeling of absorbing all of the benefits of being on the land, a child of the earth, letting it soak into me. To give myself a little bit of energy to get through a little bit of Netflix. Just going to do a little bit of thoracic extension, elbows together. And I'm thinking about lengthening my tailbone down as I arch through my upper back. I could arch my lower back. It's not going to hurt me. It's just not the stretch that I want. I really want this really nice big yum. If I had like a knee that somebody could put right there, I'd really enjoy that. So this push down, and then my inhale is my friend here. So there you go. Sloppy video, I know, but I just wanted to show you what my routine is. I'll have one that is more geared towards walking you through it step by step, but as promised, here's what it looks like when I come back and recover from a long hike. Thanks, wildlings. Thanks, Muffin.